Hello, this Sunday the reading is from the Matthew's Gospel chapter 15 and it begins at verse 21. It's the story of Jesus' encounter with a woman from the Canaanite districts of the Holy Lands. I'll just read a short passage apart from it. Jesus went away from there and withdrew to the district of Tyre and Sidon, and behold, a Canaanite woman from that region came out and cried, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, my daughter is severely possessed by a demon." But Jesus did not answer her a word, and his disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away, for she is crying after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered, "It is not fair to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "O woman, great is your faith, be it done for you as you desire." And her daughter was healed instantly. One of the things that intrigues me about this story is that Jesus is actually quite rude to this woman. I was talking to some people about this passage yesterday and said this would be rather like going to the doctor and saying, "I'm really sick," or "My child is really sick," and the doctor saying to us, "Well, unfortunately, because you're the scum of the earth, I'm not actually going to treat you because you're a dog." If our doctor said that to us, there'd be hell to pay. But somehow when we think about Jesus, we always seem to think that Jesus is nice and sweet, and so we tend to gloss over that. We can't possibly think that he can have been rude to this woman, but of course he was very rude. It is not fitting, he says, to take the children's bread and give it to you lot who are dogs. Jesus would have grown up in the small town of Nazareth with a lot of prejudices. Every one of us who grows up with a whole baggage of prejudice. I grew up in a small town in the north of England, and I certainly was exposed to my share of prejudice. There wasn't much racial prejudice because we were all basically of the same ethnic group. There were only two coloured people I saw every year, and the rest of us were white. But there was plenty of anti-Catholic prejudice. There was plenty of anti-Irish prejudice. There were quite a lot of Irish people lived in the town, and they were often spoken of disparagingly. All sorts of prejudices with which we grow up. For all sorts of reasons. Prejudice is a shorthand way of trying to put people into little boxes, and Jesus didn't escape these too. He would have been told that these Canaanite people, of whom this woman was one, was beyond the pale. He would have grown up with that story from the time that he was born. He would no doubt have heard people say, "Oh, those Canaanite people, they are dogs." And so he finds when he has this encounter with them that he doesn't actually have much difficulty falling into the trap, as it were. Many commentators want to excuse him. I heard one person saying the other day that what Jesus is actually doing is just in a sort of robust verbal encounter with this woman. In actual fact, he's trying to draw something out of her that she is capable of giving, and that he knows that she can give, and he's just trying to get her to be more faithful. It still doesn't alter the fact he may have been trying to do that, but he called this woman's child a dog. What are we seeing here? We're seeing here that Jesus, like the rest of us, has to deal with what it means to be human, and one of the things that it means to be human is that we live with a whole swag of prejudice, and that we need to be careful to understand that we make judgments about people that are often not based on fact, but are based on things that aren't 100% true. They're based on stories we've been told, on half-truths, and on the shallow observations that we've picked up from those around us. Jesus, on this occasion, is able to pierce this prejudice and to see that at the heart of this woman's encounter with him is also one of deep faithfulness. The woman, in the end, she doesn't care about the prejudice that Jesus shows towards her, about his rudeness. She just wants her daughter to get better, and if Jesus is the means by which she's going to get better, then she's prepared to do everything, and she's prepared to be called a dog. Can we see this encounter as being a challenge for us to identify that we are people who are prejudiced, and to see if there are ways we can free ourselves from that prejudice. This week we try to hear that God invites us to be free of prejudice. God bless you this week, and don't hesitate to contact me through my website or my blog site, stephenclarks.blogspot.com. Thanks very much. Bye bye.